Hey, real estate ladies of North Atlanta, Mary Ellen Vanock and Sue Jennings. How are you doing today, Sue?
I'm fine, Mary Ellen. How are you?
I'm doing great. So let's dig in. Today we're going to talk about why is everyone moving to North Atlanta? What's driving the migration from California, Texas, Florida, New York, and New Jersey? Then we're going to talk about a subdivision called Hearthstone in Alpharetta. We're going to talk about what we love about North Atlanta, which is pickleball, and who doesn't like pickleball right now. And we're going to talk about 5 paint colors that instantly date your home, which I'm excited to hear about because everybody needs to do that. All right, Sue, let's go right into why is everyone moving to North Atlanta?
Well, Mary Ellen, this has become a really significant trend in this area. I mean, you're from New York.
Yes.
I'm from Pennsylvania and New Jersey. That's
Yes.
another big state with people moving here. Texas, Florida, and California. So our listeners have been asking us for some real answers here. And so we're going to give them a detailed breakdown and tap into the top reasons why people are moving here from each of those states.
Okay.
So anyway, the core reasons, and I don't want listeners to stop listening here, but I'm going to give you the core reasons first. It's affordability and value, it's quality of life, it's remote work flexibility, and the business-friendly environment of Atlanta as a whole. So let's start with California, Mary Ellen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So,
California.
why are people leaving California?
Well, there's a lot of reasons why people are leaving California, right? I think affordability is number one.
Right.
Because here, like when people come here from California, I think they're like, oh my gosh, like all of our houses have like all the bedrooms have bathrooms. The square footage is huge. You also have a terrace level or a basement. So like that's very, people love that. They love that they can get more house for their money. I guess more stuff they can put in their house too, right? So if you're looking to minimalize your life, I don't know that Atlanta might be a good place, but anyway, I think that that's a good thing. So let's dive
into
into
I think
California.
in general, like if you took San Jose as a city,
Sure.
the median home price there is double of what the median home price is in Alpharetta.
Right.
Median home price here is around 700,000. There, the median home price is like 1.4 million.
And for 1.4 million, what do you get? 1,000 square feet or 2,000 square feet? Where here you're going to get 4,000 square feet. So
Right.
you have to look at those. So that's, I would say that's a big reason why people are moving from California.
Right.
Another reason I think is we do have the 4 seasons, and sometimes people like that. They like to have a little bit of spring, and I mean the spring and fall are beautiful here.
They are.
The summer is it can be hot, but it also can be nice, and we have a really mild winter. So I think it's better than moving to like New York or New Jersey where you're going to get the cold weather for a couple months. Where here it's maybe a month, if that.
Plus taxes are higher in California than they are in Georgia.
Yes, very much so.
And I think a lot of people in California are getting frustrated with some of the crime rates in California, the amount of homelessness in California. Progressive politics might be driving some of that. But in general, like your utility costs here in Georgia are lower. So your monthly out of pocket for your energy bills is lower.
Yes. So the cost of living is lower. Luxury homes are available half of the price, lower taxes and more predictable regulations, and family-friendly communities with top-rated schools.
Yeah, we do have great schools here. We really do.
Fulton and Forsyth counties have great schools. And we have a lot of lifestyle. So I think that people, when they come here, they adjust to subdivisions. We have these things called subdivisions, and people get bent out of shape over HOAs and subdivisions, but that's just the way it is in Atlanta. So you're going to find a lot of lifestyle and stuff. So plenty to do for everybody, whether you're young, old, small kids, big grown kids. There's just lots to do. I think with all year round nice weather too as well.
Yeah,
So,
so I can tell you a story, Mary Ellen.
all right.
I have buyers that purchased a home here in Alpharetta after moving from the Los Angeles area.
Mhm.
And in Los Angeles, they couldn't afford to buy, but their rent was about $24.50 a month, which is low, but they were living in like efficiency apartment.
Right.
Here, they were able to buy a townhouse. They did put 20% down, and their monthly mortgage payment is now $700 a month less than what it was for their rent in the Los Angeles area.
Okay. So
Pretty
pros
nice
and
story,
cons of
right?
California.
So you can sell your condo in California and buy a mini mansion here in Alpharetta.
You can. That's great. All right. So let's talk about our next state, Texas. Everything is bigger in Texas. What are the pros and cons of Texas and North Atlanta?
Well, I think the problem in the popular areas of Texas, like Dallas and Austin, is that they're becoming so overdeveloped.
Okay.
And some people, I think, are leaving those areas because they want something that's less congested. So the North Atlanta area is very appealing to them.
Okay.
That can be overcrowding, can be a frustration in terms of schools, in terms of the infrastructure in general. So plus the property taxes are higher in Texas than they are in Georgia too. Even though there's no income tax there, rising property taxes are a big concern for a lot of people in Texas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And plus in Texas, it's really, really hot in the summertime, like overly hot. Like you can't even go outside. I was just there. So it was like 102. And it was like, ooh, when you like open the door and the heat comes into you and you're like, you feel like you're in a sauna. That's Texas in the summertime. So,
right. Well, it gets warm here, but we've got a lot of trees here. Like Atlanta was basically built in a forest. So we've got a lot of greenery. We've got more of a seasonal, climate here. So you do see the 4 seasons here, which a lot of people do like. We've got a really nice outdoor lifestyle here. We've got great access to nature, very close-knit neighborhoods. And it's a little bit slower paced, and there's less sprawl here.
Okay. So I have a question from one of our viewers talking about, the husband and wife get transferred to North Atlanta, right? Mm-hmm. And they have small children. And then all of a sudden the grandparents follow them, right? They want to live in Georgia too, which happens a lot here because they want to see their grandchildren grow up. Right. So the affordability for the grandparents as well. And plus we have some special tax breaking for people over 62, right?
We do. They don't have to pay the school taxes in Forsyth or Cherokee counties. Now, Cherokee County, before you qualify for that, you do have to be a resident for a couple of years there. But in Forsyth County and even Gwinnett County, you don't have to be a resident for several years before you would qualify for that reduction in your taxes.
So if you are getting transferred, because North Atlanta is a place where people are getting transferred to all the time. There's a lot of technology companies. There's a lot of IT companies, and a lot of people are moving their headquarters here or whatever, or they have an East Coast, West Coast corporate headquarters. I mean, of course, you have Home Depot and Coca-Cola and Chick-fil-A and Delta in our world. So people are moving to this area because of that. And then the grandparents are following them. Mm-hmm. So I think that's very interesting because they're so close to Florida. Mm-hmm. It's nice, and it's not hot. Like if you go to Florida, it's hot pretty much all year round, where here you've got the seasons. So a lot of people, and we don't have hurricanes here like as bad as Florida.
Right.
So that's another reason why. But we'll get into that Florida in a little bit.
Right. I think a lot of it here too is logistically. We've got great transportation here with having Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport in Atlanta. We can get anywhere in the country basically without having to, take a connecting flight. You can do a nonstop flight here and, basically go almost anywhere in the world.
And I would say like the cons of, Texas, everything's bigger in Texas, and they have some really good barbecue and Mexican food. I mean, we have good, but theirs is kind of over the top, really good. So, you know, but we have other food that's really good here in Atlanta compared to Texas. So, you know, that might be a little con for some people too, as well, in that aspect. But the flying out from Atlanta is great. You can go pretty much anywhere in the world, and I think that that is a big plus on that side.
Right. Right.
All right, let's talk about Florida, our neighbor to the south. Why
would anybody want to leave Florida?
Yes.
Well,
all right, why are they leaving Florida right now and coming to Georgia?
Some of it's climate concerns. I mean, there have been some pretty bad hurricanes in recent years. They've, you know, brought some really bad weather conditions to the area and wiped a lot of people's homes out. There's extreme humidity there. You know, it's just climate fatigue, I think, that people are experiencing in Florida. The insurance costs to insure your home in Florida are getting higher and higher all the time because of those hurricanes. And there's a lot of tourism in Florida. So there's a lack of a year-round community feel in some of the neighborhoods because you get a lot of snowbirds that come down from the north. They only stay a month or a couple months, and then they leave again. So, you know, that's, you know, why people are a little, you know, unhappy with Florida these days. They choose North Atlanta because we do have, you know, a little bit more balanced climate with the 4 seasons. Our insurance costs are lower. There's more of a permanent resident feel in our communities. And there's still great jobs here. Atlanta's a growing market in terms of corporations and business. And we've got great schools here too.
Yeah, and I think also, besides, you know, great schools and everything like that, and people are moving from Florida here because you also have the mountains. Like from North Atlanta, less than an hour, you're in the mountains here, and there's just so much nature here. I mean, yes, there is nature in Florida too as well. But really, I think lifestyle wise, people are moving here because of that. And one bad thing is traffic. Okay. We know traffic is terrible. So I think what you have to look at is, you know, traffic's bad. Don't live far from where you work. So many people work from home. Do you know how many people like just move to Atlanta and because they have a job that works from home, they don't have to, but it's great because if you have to travel, you can, you know, Atlanta, you can get anywhere, where sometimes in Florida, you have to take different flights to get across the pond, across to Asia or whatever. So if you're a business traveler, being in Atlanta is very beneficial in that aspect as well.
Right, right. I've had a lot of people ask me how far we are from the airport in the North Atlanta area.
Depends on the traffic, right?
It does. It does. We're about 30 or 35 miles from the airport, which is not terrible, but we do have public transportation that can take you directly to the airport through MARTA. And also, if you just plan accordingly and go to your flight, you know, early and maybe have a nice meal at the airport, there's some great restaurants in our airport because it is such a world-class airport that, you know, go and relax and enjoy yourself and have a great meal because heaven knows that food on these planes is awful.
Yeah, unless you're in business class, which, you know, first class is always pretty good. So what I will say about the Atlanta airport is that we do have really like fine dining restaurants in the Atlanta airport. So it's not like when you get to an airport and all they have is, you know, yucky food, right?
Right.
You know, the smaller airports. So I think that that's definitely an advantage too. And booking your flights outside of, you know, the high traffic times through Atlanta. And remember, the airport is south of the city too. So I think people need to know that as well.
Right, right. And I do have 2 recommendations for travelers that want to have a great meal in the airport. My 2 recommendations are Echo and One Flew South. Echo is over like in between Terminal E and F, right? And One Flew South is like Terminal C or something like that. But, you know, both are excellent, excellent restaurants in the airport.
And Delta and American Express have so many great lounges. They have the Centurium Lounge, which is new, which is pretty new, which is great. They have Delta lounges. And I will tell you a story. You know, my husband has a company in Mexico and he used to fly there a lot. So he actually knew all the people in Echo because he would have a great meal before he'd hop on his flight to Mexico, to Guadalajara. So Echo is such a great restaurant, and they have some in the city too as well, but it's amazing how you can have a great restaurant inside the airport, which is a little surprise. Okay.
It is a surprise, but it's true. It's very, very true. So Mary Ellen, let's talk about our next state where people are leaving.
I'm from New York. So yes, New York. People are coming from New York down to Atlanta. And why are they coming besides jobs?
Well, New York has high state and city taxes for one.
Yes.
You know, they might have higher incomes, but their property taxes are high. The cost of living is high. It's unsustainable for a lot of people.
Yes.
You know, cost of living is basically off the charts up there.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I think people post-COVID, you know, are looking for just a nicer lifestyle in general. So, you know, the lower cost of living here, the lower taxes, it's not as crowded here. It's a safe area here. The suburban areas are very, very safe. There's excellent private and public education here. Atlanta Airport again. It's easy to fly in and out and go back to New York whenever you want to. And it's just North Atlanta just offers great space and an outdoor lifestyle that you can't have in the snow in New York.
Yes, exactly. We don't have, you know, we might get a little dusting of snow and they close down the schools if they predict snow or predict ice, or, you know, a hurricane comes through, but then it goes the other way. So we do get hurricanes, okay? But what we get is once it hits land and then comes up our way. So we'll get a lot of wind and rain, but we won't get that category that Florida or the coast gets, the Savannah and, you know, the whole East Coast and stuff. So, but we do get some weather and we do get tornadoes here. Okay. Quick fact. Okay. Had a client from Michigan. Oh my God, there's so many tornadoes in Atlanta. Like, I'm going to build a bunker so that I can have a tornado, you know, tornado shelter. So you have to just ask a lot of questions. Why do you feel that way? Why do you feel that you need to take care of that situation? Why, Sue?
Well, I mean, we do have sirens here if we do get a tornado, which is not very often. You know, and you do need to be mindful of those warnings. If you do get a warning, find a lower level space in your home, a closet, a room without windows, and don't forget to take your shoes with you. Because if, heaven forbid, something were to happen, at least you'd have something on your feet to be able to walk out of your home. But, you know, I don't find it to be a problem here. Recent tornadoes that have hit the Atlanta area have all gone south of Atlanta. I don't know why, really. It must be just, you know, the way the wind currents flow. But, you know, Griffin, Georgia has gotten it tough, bad, several times, and that's way south of the city here.
Yeah, and you know, everyone tornadoes, they get scared or they're just like they want to just go under. But remember, we have basements and terrace levels and things like that. So we actually have a lot of spaces if you have to, you know, if you have like a tornado coming. Let's talk about roofs and what people say about roofs and tornadoes and hail. Yes, we get hail, believe it or not, we do. So a lot of these roofing companies will come in your subdivision and go, you have hail damage, you get a whole new roof. Let's do this. And so that happens a lot here in Atlanta, that companies will come by and say, well, you've had hail damage, you need a new roof. I can tell you, you know, we have like 65 homes in my small little subdivision, and that's a small subdivision for North Atlanta. And I remember them come knocking on our door. Everybody in the neighborhood's getting new roofs. And I'm like, but we don't have any hail damage. And they're like, yes, you do. I'm like, no, we don't. We had our insurance guy out here. So we did not get a new roof for a while. And then when we needed to get a new roof, we did. So that's just another thing that people kind of coming from, you know, in Florida, you have all the storm stuff that you have to be prepared for. Here, you just have to make sure your roof does not have any hail damage, because we do have sometimes some high winds and hail.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, Mary Ellen, in summary, on, you know, people moving from New York, New Jersey, Florida, Texas, and California, in summary, we can say, first of all, you know, follow the money as far as look at the cost of living, compare the cost of living from where you live now to the cost of living in North Metro Atlanta, Georgia area. If you need help with that, please reach out to us. We can assist you with that. You will absolutely get more for less here. I mean, I've had a lot of buyers from the Northeast and even from California and Texas that will say to me, wow, we get so much house here for the money. I mean, the houses here, you know, they have a lot of square footage. These homes are large for what you would pay for it, you know, comparatively in another state. You know, we have very good schools. We have, you know, a very low crime rate here. And I think that is important to a lot of people to know that and to understand that. We do not have the overcrowding and so forth that some other areas up in the Northeast and all. We do get traffic, but every city gets traffic, and we are a large city. But Atlanta is a large city because businesses come here. They establish their corporate headquarters here, and we have a growing tech and corporate hub here in Atlanta that, you know, is really making this area thrive.
Yes. And New Jersey and New York, very similar situations, you know. Taxes. I think the biggest thing is property taxes.
Mm-hmm.
I lived in New York. You lived in Pennsylvania. Our
Mm-hmm.
property taxes were up. Like, when people realize how much we pay in property taxes here, they just, you know, they'll pay like $20,000-$30,000, and here, like, they'll only pay maybe $5,000. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you just kind of have to look at that too as well. And that's a big chunk of things too.
Right. I have been here 15 years. You know, live in a luxury home, and I have yet to pay as much in taxes as I did 15 years ago in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So that's just it. Taxes. All right. So we talked about everything else. Anything else to kind of do in summary? I think we talked about everything here.
Yeah, no, I think we've got it. You know, I think what I'd like to know is what our listeners think and what questions and comments our listeners have. And they need to leave comments below and message us as well.
Great.
So now we're going to talk about Hearthstone, which is a subdivision located in Alpharetta. This is part of our neighborhood highlight today. So Mary Ellen has pulled up the subdivision map, and Hearthstone is a luxury swim tennis community. It was developed by Sharp Residential. There's about 106 estate-style homes in the subdivision. They were built between 2014 and 2017. They're all within the Milton High School School District, which is one of the top-rated schools and school areas in North Fulton County. Most of these homes are constructed with four sides brick and maybe some hardy, you know, treatment as well. They do have spacious layouts and generally offer between 3,950 and 5,600 square feet, which means that they're between 5 and 7 bedrooms generally, with 4 to 6 bathrooms. The asking prices of these homes is generally between 1.3 million and 2.2 million. And so the larger homes would be the ones that are those larger square footages. Basically, these are really a great location. They have well-maintained amenities. You can see the pool. There's a lot of cul-de-sac streets in this community, private wooded lots. In the Milton area, most lots approach an acre or more. And this is like blending like resort style living with a very homey feel. This location is just minutes from Avalon. It's minutes from downtown Alpharetta. The Crabapple Market area, Georgia 400 is close by to get into the city. And so there's a lot of convenience with living in Hearthstone, and the walkability feature is amazing as well. So again, beautiful kitchens, fireplaces, formal areas, large primary suites, ample garages, flat backyards. They're all ready for entertaining. Mary Ellen, anything else that you want to add?
No, I think it's a great area, and I have a nice dog who's loving to bark right now. So we're just going to continue on to our next segment is what do we love about North Atlanta? And we love pickleball.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk about a couple of key pickleball spots in the North Atlanta area. The first one is Lifetime in Peachtree Corners. Now, Lifetime started out as Racket Club of the South and was predominantly tennis and a private tennis club until it was purchased by Lifetime Fitness several years ago. Lifetime has indoor and outdoor pickleball courts there. There's a rumor out there, Mary Ellen, that they want to turn the entire facility over to pickleball only, which could be a really big impact on the tennis community in that area, but we'll have to wait and see whether that's just a rumor or whether that actually happens. But it is a membership required facility, but they offer leagues and lessons. They also have fitness facilities there so that you can enjoy that facility year round, and it's located off 141 in Peachtree Corners.
You know, and it's interesting. You go across the country and you see pickleball, and you've got a lot of places that have indoor pickleball, a lot of places that have outdoor. Same with tennis. We don't see a lot of indoor tennis here in Georgia, and pickleball. We're seeing a lot more so pickleball than tennis, which I think is really interesting that people do really want to stay indoors and play pickleball, which is really interesting to me.
Yeah, a lot of the YMCAs here now have converted a gymnasium or have taped off a gymnasium floor to offer indoor pickleball in local YMCAs, among other facilities. But the next facility I want to highlight is North Park. North Park does not have any indoor pickleball, but they have a lot of outdoor pickleball. The pickleball is very competitive there. This is located on Cogburn Road in Alpharetta. They have 6 dedicated outdoor pickleball courts. This is a popular spot for locals and seniors. It's free to play there. No reservation is required. It's got a great atmosphere. It's very, very friendly, and they have well-maintained facilities. So it's a very competitive pickleball market there because it's, you don't have to have a membership to play there.
And what I will tell you about North Park is that I play pickleball, and ALTA, which is tennis, Atlanta Lawn Tennis Association, has pickleball now. So I play on a pickleball league and a pickleball team, and actually the city finals were in Alpharetta North Park. So it is very competitive. People really do like it.
Great. So the third place on our list today is Pickleball Social in Roswell. This is on Market Boulevard in Roswell. They're actually going to be building a Pickleball Social in Alpharetta as well on Haynesbridge Road at exit 9 of Georgia 400. No date on when they will be breaking ground on that yet, but this is an indoor-outdoor facility. So in other words, it's air conditioned inside when you play pickleball. Nice. But it's also a social club that offers food and drinks and leagues and different events. It's great for beginners as well as competitive players. And they do have drop-in fees where you can get a membership there.
And what I will tell you, so I was in Texas and I was playing pickleball, and they said indoor pickleball facility. Now, what do you think when you think that? Oh, it's air conditioned. No, it's literally like in this barn that was covered. It was hotter than Hades. It was hotter outside, like 102, and probably inside it was like 120. It was very interesting. So I know that the facilities in North Atlanta, when they say indoor, they're air conditioned and they're really, really, really nice. So just a little tidbit that if you are looking for pickleball indoors, just make sure it has AC for the summertime. Okay,
Right.
I'll stop there. We can go on to the next pickleball place.
Well, over in Cobb County and Marietta specifically, there's Cobb County Shaw Park. There are no indoor pickleball courts there. It's all outdoor,
Yes.
but it's a very active pickleball community. They do have a lot of outdoor courts. They're lined specifically for pickleball. It's a great place to meet other members of your community, and there's free access, but you have to bring your own equipment.
Well, that's not bad. Bring your own equipment is not bad at all. But what I have an interesting situation that we heard of is one of the, a lot of the subdivisions in North Atlanta have tennis courts, and now they converted some into pickleball, or they have the pickleball line. So when you're playing tennis, you see the pickleball lines, and everything's a little different in pickleball. Well, one of the communities, because pickleball does make a lot of noise, right? It's much more noise than tennis, right? So one of the communities, somebody who lived next door to the tennis courts went to the board and said, we can't have pickleball because I bought a house and there was tennis and this noise is too much. So the noise ordinance and da-da-da. So that's really interesting too. So look out if you're trying to buy a house, FYI now, close to tennis courts, which are mostly pickleball courts now too as well. You're going to hear that annoying pouncing, which I love. I mean, I play pickleball, so I love it. But some people, that's a little annoying too. So there's your little tidbit of the day. So
for people that don't play pickleball yet, you need to know that you can take one tennis court and divide it into 2 or maybe 3 pickleball courts. And you can have 4 people playing on a court at a time. So whereas you might have had 4 people playing on one court with a fuzzy, soft tennis ball, yes, you can hear it when somebody hits the tennis ball, but now you have perhaps 12 people playing with a very loud pickleball paddle as it hits the plastic wiffle ball, basically.
Yes, basically.
So just beware. So in Forsyth County, there are 2 recreation centers that you can play at. One is on Keithbridge Road in Cumming, and the other's at Nichols Road in Swanee.
And and Fowler Park. There's actually 3. So Fowler Park.
Fowler Park is the 3rd.
Yes.
So so some of these, if they have a gymnasium, now Fowler Park has a gymnasium, doesn't it?
Yes, they have a gymnasium, and then they just built like 12 pickleball courts too. Mm-hmm. So they have the outdoors and the indoors, and they're separate from the tennis, which I think is good. A lot of what we're finding is a lot of the parks, county parks, if they are creating new pickleball, they're actually doing it in a totally different area of the park. So it doesn't, doesn't bother the tennis players.
Right. So you do need a Forsyth County Rec Pass, which is a small fee to play at these facilities, but it's great for casual and recreation play, and they've got great facilities. Then the last one that I'm going to mention today is down in Dunwoody at Brook Run Park on North Peachtree Road. They have 6 dedicated pickleball courts, free public access, and they have lights for evening play as well.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So pickleball is the fastest growing sport in the US right now. Everyone's playing it. It's fun. It's social. It's pretty easy to really honestly to pick up. It's not very hard. It's not like playing Mahjong or something. Oh my God, Sue, I played Mahjong. I was like, what the heck? That is something I'm going to learn. So that's on another day. We'll talk about Mahjong, and because it seems to be that is another growing thing in the US. Can you believe it?
Yes, it is. I've got a seller right now that plays Mahjong in her neighborhood, and will be playing Mahjong in her new neighborhood when she moves later this year. And I've asked her to teach me how to play. So that's
good. Well, I'm taking some lessons. So Sue, you got to join with me. There's some lessons in Alpharetta in September. We might have to do it together and learn the Mahjong thing. So it's like, if you're active, there's pickleball. If you're not, so we'll talk about the great places of Mahjong. That'll be one of our things we talk about in North Atlanta after that. All right, so we talked about pickleball. We love pickleball. We talked about, all kinds of things. And we're going to talk about our design tip of the day, which I think is really interesting. And I think people need to listen to what we have to say.
Yes.
And there's 5 different paint colors that instantly date your home. So I strongly suggest you don't paint these colors. Let's go, Sue. What are the fun colors?
Well, I always tell my sellers that a coat of paint is one of the least expensive things you can do to your home and will make the biggest impact on your buyers as well. And that is to put a fresh coat of an updated paint color on your walls. The first color I want to see go away is Tuscan Gold.
Oh, gold. Those gold colors. Ooh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And not to knock on Texas, but some people call this Texas tan.
Okay.
You ever heard the term Texas tan?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a deep goldenrod shade. It gives you that kind of faux Tuscan look. It just has a very dark and heavy look to it. And, try instead painting like a creamy white or something that's fresh and light. And yet you can still get a lot of warmth and coziness out of white. So don't think you have to go with this Tuscan tan look.
Okay, we're not doing that. Okay, what's the next color?
Neon colors. Yes.
Oh, yes.
Neon yellow, neon pink, neon green. They're considered bold. I know people do this sort of thing in their children's rooms. But it can easily clash with the surroundings, the furniture, and overwhelm the eye. And you really shouldn't list your home with any neon colors in it. I actually bought a house one time where one of the bedrooms was painted shocking pink. And I can tell you, within days of buying that home, that color was gone.
Yeah. And like I think in the 60s and 70s, it used to be like you would get pink carpet with pink walls or green carpet with green walls and stuff. No, that's a no-no. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next one?
A cool toned gray or a deeper toned gray is actually going out of style. We did gray for a number of years and trends come and go, but you don't want to make a space feel cold. You don't want it to feel dark. You don't want it to feel flat. You want the homes to be filled with a lot of natural light. So swap it for something that's a little bit lighter in color with a little bit of warmth, like an earthier. If you still want gray, go with a light grayish color, even a subtle mushroom if you have to. But your space will instantly feel larger and more welcoming.
Okay. I love the next one. Turquoise. Okay.
Yeah.
Was that like the 50s, 60s? No, turquoise.
Yeah. I love getting a little piece of jewelry in a Tiffany box. It's that gorgeous turquoise blue, but just don't put that on your walls. If you want
that's a great
color in your home, you can do your accent pillows, accent pieces in turquoise. It's a bright hue that was popular about a decade ago, but it's not popular now. So if you love beautiful blues and greens, consider a shade and maybe just a little accent somewhere, put some of that in your bathroom. But you really need to go to something a little bit lighter and fresher and a little more organic. The other color that nobody wants to see a home in is done in this dingy builder beige. I know I bought a house in the late 90s and man, that house had the dingy builder beige to it.
Yeah.
It was vaguely yellowish. It wasn't really tan. It wasn't really cream. But if I had left that on the walls, it would have screamed, "You built your house in 2000.
Yes, really. Okay.
Yeah, well, 2000 was 25 years ago. The color is tired. I mean, right now, you really need to go into colors like Benjamin Moore Chantilly lace. which is a beautiful, beautiful white. Swiss Coffee has a little bit more yellow to it. Sherwin-Williams Soji White also has a little bit of yellow to it. Sherwin-Williams Snowbound has a little touch of gray in it. And Sherwin-Williams Quick Villa is also another popular white tone.
Yeah, we're all into the whites. Okay, so today we talked about why is everyone moving to North Atlanta? What's driving the migration from California, Texas, Florida, New York, and New Jersey? So shout out to us if you want to know some of the differences between. I think we explained it pretty well. Then we talked about Hearthstone in Alpharetta, and we showed some houses in just a really cute area. Then we talked about pickleball, what we love about North Atlanta, which is pickleball. Everyone loves pickleball. And then we talked about 5 paint colors that date your home. So I think anything else you want to add today, Sue?
No, I think we've covered it. Thanks, Mary Ellen.
Okay, great. Thanks for tuning in. Let us know, follow us on social media, and let us know what you want to hear about in the North Atlanta area. So Real Estate of Ladies of North Atlanta, signing out for now. Talk to you soon.